Okay. We live, man. I got a whole lot of time on my hands right now, so figured I'd go live and chop some game with y'all. So we're gonna do that. In the meantime, we do something right quick. Give me just a second. Quality ain't looking cool. That's probably just my phone. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me cool and see me cool. It appears that I'm good on my end. I guess I can use this for now. Let's see. Damn, it won't let me change the shit. Give me just a second, y'all. I'm just trying to do something real quick. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Just trying to get this thumbnail decent for now. Just give it a decent thumbnail. Then I'll change the thumbnail after the video's over with. Look at Tyler kicking the dough down with the love already, man. Tyler, appreciate you with the $2 holla on the Cash App, man. Tyler always coming through as usual, making the game look good. You did. Okay. Okay. We good to go now, man. Y'all know no matter where I'm at, no matter what's going on, no matter the circumstance, if a pimp don't do nothing else, he's gonna put some love in his body, you did. So let me do that first order of business. Right. In the words of Sinful to P, as Tyler just said, a whole bunch of ones beat a whole bunch of nuns. Oh no, that is that Tyler? Yeah. I see y'all up in here, man. Sucker repelling. What's happening? Daniel Barris or Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Daniel Barry, excuse me, my bad. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. What's happening with you, Tweety Bird Jr.? GD Timmy, what's happening? THKJ7VC, what's the word? Rob Live, what up, though? That's that Detroit lingo. What up, though? Sucker repelling in the house as always. What's happening, man? Duke of Knots. Fly back nice, I see you. Yeah, man, I'm on my Tom Hanks right now, man. I'm stuck in the terminal. You dig? I'm like Tom Hanks in that movie, The Terminal. Remember when he was stuck at the airport forever? That's me right now, spending the night at the airport, man. My flight leave at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the dot right here, right now. So I have exactly 10 hours to the minute until my flight leaves. So yeah, man, Pim's just hanging out, man. You did. Uh, I've already been here for about 3 hours, 3 hours some change. Uh, had me a decent little meal. Y'all can't see it right now, but I'm sitting at this bar, like bar grill type place. They closed about an hour ago at 10 o'clock, but I ordered a chicken salad from them. The chicken salad was actually pretty decent. Like, of course, it didn't have as much chicken as I would prefer, but it was decent. It had little dried cranberries on there, like I like, avocado, onions, all that good stuff. And I had them give me a couple of eggs too, over easy. I mean, sunny side up. Gave me a couple of eggs sunny side up, so I mixed that in with the salad. It was pretty cool. So I got a decent meal tonight. It ain't the salad at the crib that I'm used to, but it sufficed for the evening. You did. But about time you back on the tube. Yeah, man. I didn't go live or post any content, any fresh new content on YouTube for the whole month of November. It's a reason why. I had some business that I was handling, and I just finally got the business completed a couple days ago. So now I'm able to go live again. I'm gonna talk about that on my Patreon. I'm gonna explain why I didn't make any videos for the month of November on my Patreon. Uh, it's a couple videos that I have to do for Patreon because it's a story that I had mentioned that I was gonna tell y'all, but I never told it, and I didn't put that on Patreon. I gotta tell y'all that story and put that on Patreon, and I also am going to explain why I didn't make any videos for November and how I'm able to come back now that I've finished handling what I'm supposed to handle. But but yeah, man, everything's all good now. You dig? Sucker Repellent says, "How was your overall experience in Colombia?" Man, it was so good for me, man. And I didn't even do like no hell of a shit. Like I had more fun here in Costa Rica actually, as far as like just doing things. I did more fun stuff here in Costa Rica as opposed to Colombia. But Colombia was it was just good for me. It was what I needed. You know, I just start, you know, getting deeper into my health and fitness endeavors, and just tightening up knowledge on things like that. Learning more about different foods and how they benefit you, and the nutrients in certain foods and things like that. Uh, I was able to be by myself for a while, so I rid myself of a lot of distractions in the forms of people, places, and things. So that was good for me. I was just to myself, man. I had my little routine. I go for my walks every day, walk to the grocery store, uh, walk to the gym, get it in at the gym. It was just real cool, man. Uh, yeah, the Colombia trip, it was just very, very peaceful. You met some bras, yeah, but I wasn't really. I met a few little bras, but I wasn't really like super heavy on the campaign because you know that when your Spanish ain't up to par, that puts you at a bit of a disadvantage. I can't really flex the power of my P to the maximum in Colombia because my Spanish ain't where it needs to be. Now, see, that's one thing different about here in Costa Rica. Like a lot of people, a lot of the natives here in Costa Rica speak English. I don't know why that is, but a lot of Costa Ricans speak good English. But Colombia ain't like that. It's sprinkles of Colombians here and there to speak decent English, but for the most part, everywhere you go, every restaurant, every store, every place that you go, most of them don't really speak English like that. Uh, the most English speaking Colombians that I saw were Uber drivers. The Uber drivers, out of everybody that I encountered, the Uber drivers, some of them, and not even all of them, a lot of them don't speak a lick of English either, but a lot of the Uber drivers speak pretty decent English. So it's kind of cool getting in the Uber, uh, chopping it up with them, and they appreciate people who speak English getting in their car because it helps them practice their English. Like everywhere I go, I'll be trying to practice my Spanish and get better with my Spanish, but then I find myself when I'm in the Uber being at service to them by helping them tighten up on their English. I be wanting to talk to them in Spanish, but they be wanting to talk to me in English so they can better their English. Like I'm trying to better my Spanish, but I figure I get more opportunities to speak Spanish than they get opportunities to speak English. So I'll give them the chance when I can. But that was cool about Colombia, and I just like how I like how sociable, if that's a word. I think it is. I'm not sure. I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. But I like how approachable people are and how social people are. Like one thing. So this is one thing that I really liked about Colombia. Okay, you know how anywhere, even in the states, you got your little neighborhood mom and pop markets, little corner stores and shit like that, right? In Colombia, every corner store, every restaurant, every bar, when it's a soccer game going on, it's like they have like watch parties. Like it'll be a little tiny little corner store, and they might have like 4 or 5 chairs. They might have a table with like 4 or 5 chairs, in front of the corner store, and they'll have a TV, and everybody will come. It'll be like 10 people in that little corner store watching a soccer game, and then next door, if it's a restaurant or something or a bar, they doing the same thing across the street. Like people just be outside, like, and they don't be in their phones. Um, they social in real life. They not on social media like that. They social in real life. That's what I like about Colombia. Uh, and when shit be happening, like if you see some people in the street getting into a fight or anything like that, some type of drama outside, commotion or what have you, people don't pull their phones out and start recording. That's not a thing in Colombia. People do not do that at all. You won't see one person. It'll be a rumble going on, and it'll be a crowd of 50 people, and not one of them got their phone out recording. They're going to run up to the commotion and watch what's going on. Like if it's a rumble, if it's like, you know, 5 or 6 people rumbling with each other, that crowd of 50 people, they're going to rush to the scene to watch what's going on, but nobody is going to pull their phone out and start recording. It's just not a thing out there. Like people are really apprehensive about being recorded in Colombia. So, that's not a thing. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate people just being people without having to record every single thing. So I like that about Colombia. Uh, and everybody speaks to everybody. When you walk past people in the street, they say good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, all that type of stuff. When you get on the elevator with people, everybody on the elevator speaks to each other, whether it's 3 people or 10 people. everybody, greets each other and, says goodbye to each other when they get on and off the elevator. Just stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just real, real social. Oh, Lavish, you say you on bullshit again. Why didn't I get a notification? That's because I didn't. Nobody got a notification because I didn't schedule it. I just pressed the live button this time. You know what I mean? Normally, y'all get a notification because I'll schedule the live uh, at least 30 minutes in advance. So, in order for y'all to get a notification on YouTube, I have to go live, or I have to schedule the live at least 30 minutes in advance. If I schedule it more than 30 minutes, y'all will get a notification. This time I just hit the live button, so that's why y'all didn't get notified. Uh, you probably just popped on and seen the pimp live. You did. How many pounds did you drop? Jawline sharp as hell. Good looking. I don't even know because, like I was saying earlier in the live that I did earlier before when I was at the airport in Colombia, um, I haven't weighed myself since I was here last time. Since I was in Costa Rica last time. That's the last time I've been on the scale, man. For some reason, you know how in the States, man, when you go to the gym, most gyms got a scale. And here in Costa Rica, it's the same way. When you go to the gym out here, they got a scale. For some reason, that Smart Fit gym that I was going to in Colombia, I don't know why, but none of them had a scale. I didn't see a scale in not one of those gyms. So I haven't weighed myself about 2 months. And the last time I weighed myself, I was 202 pounds here in Costa Rica 2 months ago, which I had lost a little bit because I think when I got to Costa Rica, I was between 208 and 210 pounds. I was between 208 and 210. Do you feel safe in San Juan, Costa Rica? You probably mean San Jose. Uh, yeah, I never really spent much time in San Jose, man. When I got here to Costa Rica, the last time I went straight to Jaco. But yeah, I feel safe in Costa Rica though. I even felt safe in Medellin, even though the little bullshit happened with me. Y'all probably think like it's just crazy over there because you hear all these horror stories, and then you seen what happened to me. Uh, but no, like I felt safe most of the time over there. Of course, certain areas in Medellin, when you go to, you got to be on alert and pay attention, be aware of your surroundings. But for the most part, like especially the neighborhood that I was staying in, so I was staying in Berlin, and Berlin is like one of the nicer neighborhoods over there. And Berlin was cool. I could walk around at night, no problem. It's quiet. It don't really be nobody outside at night like that, unless they at the bar, or the casino, or some or a restaurant or something. Uh, but yeah, I felt safe most of the time over there for sure. Didn't have really no issues. Bill says I want to get to 195 or so myself, lean and jacked, elite levels. Yeah, see me, I want to put on a little bit more weight again, but I'm gonna put it on right. I'm gonna put it. I ain't gonna, I just got a better outlook on things and a better approach to things this time around. So, uh, yeah, I'm gonna put the weight back on, but I'm gonna put it on slowly and gradually, and it's gonna be lean. You dig? Have you been to Dominican Republic? No, I have not. I was damn near about to go there though because if you watch the video that I posted earlier today, I thought that I was going to have to reroute my trip to Dominican Republic in order to get home because I didn't have this shit. I didn't have that. You know what I mean? So Uh, because I didn't have this, which is a certificate for the yellow fever vaccine, uh, they denied me initially. They wouldn't give me my boarding pass because I didn't have this. But the game made a way, and Pimp was able to get this. You did. This stupid ass paper cost me $180, but it was but it was worth it though, man. You know, I'd rather do this than have to stay in Colombia another 2 days, then reschedule my flight from here instead of coming to Costa Rica, going to DR, and then rescheduling my Southwest flight because I'm flying out of here on Southwest, and Southwest also goes to DR. So I would have had to reschedule the flight leaving here to leaving from DR. It just would have been a whole lot of inconvenience. You know what I mean? If I wasn't able to get this shit, this stupid ass paper. But it's cool because I thought about it like I was kind of upset that I had to pay $180, and dude wasn't trying to budge on this shit because you know they be like vultures at the airport. You know what I mean? Getting their hustle on. I ain't mad at them, right? But they know what it is. They know that you American. They know you trying to get home, and they know you really want this, and they know that you don't want to have to go through a whole bunch of you know red tape, flaming hoops, and quicksand, and all that type of shit to get home. So they can very conveniently give you this for the very low price of $180, and you can go home today. So uh, that's why they don't be budging on that price. 304s could learn a lesson from them dudes at the airport to be hustling. You know what I mean? Because they don't be they don't be willing and dealing and none of that. I tried to talk their ass down. They was like, nope, nope. I'm like, man, take this 100, man. Nope, nope. They wasn't trying to take that 100, man. But the good thing about it is that certificate is good for life. You know what I mean? So 20 years from now, if I want to fly to a country that requires me to have the yellow fever vaccine, I can still use that same certificate. You know what I mean? Because once you get the vaccine, is good for life. So I can use that same certificate forever. I ain't got to get another one. So that's cool. Put some more love in my body, man. Sylvia, good looking with the $5 holla. Peace and bliss to you, Freeze. It's good to see your face. I hope all is well. Appreciate you, Sylvia. It's good to see you around this thing too. I appreciate you. And yeah, all is well. Uh, I'm real blessed. I've been blessed extraordinarily. That's one of the reasons why I'm going back to the States right now, because there's a major blessing that awaits me in the States right now that I'm not gonna get into because it ain't the internet's business. But just know that I'm very, very blessed. I'm what I'm going back to in the States right now is one of the happiest moments in my life, for real. And it couldn't have come at a better time because, as y'all know, man, I lost three of my uncles earlier this year, but within a 2 week period. Three of my grandmama's sons died within 2 weeks of each other earlier this year. Rest in peace to my uncle Ricky. Rest in peace to my uncle Ronnie. And rest in peace to my Uncle Junior. You know, I lost all three of them earlier this year, and it was, man, it was rough. So, you know, to be blessed in the way that I've been blessed now, what I'm going back to in the States, it's right on time, man. So, yeah, like I said, this is one of the happiest moments in my life. I'm abundantly blessed. I have zero complaints. So, yeah, you know, 2025, it's a trip because 2025 has had a lot of rough spots for me and good spots, all like intertwined with each other. You know what I mean? At the same time, some bullshit is going on, some good shit is going on, like all at the same time. Throughout the whole 2025, it's been like that for me. I can have some great shit and some fucked up shit going on at the same time. You know what I mean? But right now, everything is cool. I ain't got no I ain't got no bullshit going on right now. Excuse my pimping. Hopefully it stays that way. You dig? Do you ever wish you can call Sinful and tell him what you're doing now, man? Every day. Not a day goes by that I be wishing I could just, you know, with bro. You know what I mean? Every day. It's not a day that goes by where I don't have that wish, that desire. May the Lord rest their souls. Chris B. Smith, appreciate you. But yeah, man, this has been a bad year. Yeah, 2025, man, it's been a rough one, man. Then we done lost. If you want to just talk about, you know, great people, legendary people, man, we done lost some good people this year, man. Like, man, Malcolm Jamal Warner, rest in peace. D'Angelo, rest in peace. Uh, Howie T, rest in peace. A lot of y'all ain't familiar with Howie T, but he was like a dope ass producer from the 80s and 90s. A lot of good people, man. Just too many to name. Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. I know a lot of people don't like Hulk Hogan because of the racist shit that he said, but one thing you can't take away from Hulk Hogan, that man was the Michael Jordan of wrestling. For real. And I don't give a damn what anybody say about, see, that's the thing. People gonna talk shit. You know what I mean? Uh, my baby mama is white. And I done talk plenty of shit about white people. And I'm pretty sure she probably done talk shit about black people. I ain't never heard her or heard of it. But that's just, everybody talks shit about everybody, man. That's just reality. And that's what I don't like about today's times. I miss the days where comedians could joke about everybody. Comedians could say derogatory jokes about every ethnicity, every group of people, every life choice, every sexual orientation, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I just miss the days where everybody could talk shit about everybody and it wasn't so damn horrendous. It wasn't such a big deal. But I say all that to say, yeah, Hulk Hogan said some foul shit, but at the same time, you'd be a lie if to say that if you was a little kid like I was in the 80s and 90s, that you wasn't trying to rip your shirt off. You know what I mean? Man, we always doing that shit. You'd be a lie to say that you wasn't eating the WWF ice cream. You know what I mean? and hoping that you get like the Ultimate Warrior ice cream or the Hulk Hogan ice cream. Like, come on, man. You know, we all was doing that. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, man. Yeah, Angie Stone as well this year. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. That was, god damn, it's crazy. Angie Stone and D'Angelo within months of each other, man. That's crazy. Whew. But but yeah, man. Marlon Clayton says, "What happened to the shirt and tie?" Nothing, man. You know, I just been, you know, see that's my problem, right? So this is a problem that I have that I do my best to work on. Whenever I travel, I be bringing too much shit, and I'm kind of proud of myself because this time I didn't bring as nearly as much shit as I normally bring, and I've been gone for months. You know what I mean? And I'm even coming back with less shit than that I came with. You know what I mean? I'm coming home lighter than when I left home. Uh, but yeah, so that's a problem that I have that I try to work on, man. I do my like how people travel with just a backpack. I don't know how they do it. I commend them. I can't travel with just a backpack. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess I'm just too high maintenance of a pimp. You know what I mean? But um, that's why even though I got a couple of suits with me, but I didn't bring enough, you know, to like change on a daily basis and go suited and booted every day. Like, and then too, you know, like in these countries like Costa Rica and Colombia, the suit ain't even really. I don't want to say it ain't appreciated like that, but it's just different. It's a different vibe. You know what I mean? But nah, ain't nothing happened to the suits, the shirts and ties and all that. I just didn't bring it with me like that. You did freeze on his Tomb Raider swag. That's funny. Saying your prayers and eating your vitamins. Hulk Hogan for real. Make sure you keep your loved ones' names alive. Rest in peace to your uncles. Boris Tarpley, appreciate you, man. Yeah, indeed, man. You know, man, I miss all my uncles, man. Like I said, I grew up with 10 uncles, man. I only got two left. My mom got nine brothers, and then with my auntie's husband, that make 10 uncles for me. You know what I mean? And Freeze, you looking skinny, champ. Hope all is well, though. Long live. Send for the big old P. Yeah, nah, I know, you know, Pimp looking all slim in the face and shit like that, but I ain't skinny. You know what I mean? Now my yolks ain't where they was, but you know, I still got a little yoke, still got a little something going on. You did. I ain't got the 22-inch pythons like the Hulkster, like I did a few months ago. You know what I mean? A few months ago, I had 22-inch pythons. You know what I mean? But but nah, you know, Pimp just lean. You know, I'm in a I'm in a rebuilding process of my body. You know what I mean? You know how you take an old Chevy and restore it. You know, take it apart, uh, you know, rebuild and restore and all that type of stuff. That's pretty much what I'm doing with my body right now. You know, I tore down a lot of things, mainly that fat. Not that I was like a fat person or anything like that, but I just had a lot of fat that I wanted to get rid of, and I've pretty much burned off most of the fat that I wanted to burn off. I still plan to burn off some more fat, but I'm not like in a super duper anxious to burn fat mode right now like I was. So now I'm at a point where like, okay, I don't know what my body fat percentage is right now, but if I was to guess, I'd say it's probably somewhere between 10 and 12%, maybe even 15%. I don't know. But I like where I'm at as far as how lean I am. So now that I'm at a cool spot with how lean I am, now it's time to put that muscle back on. You know what I mean? So 2026 gonna be a good year for him. You know what I mean? Like 2026 gonna be cool. You did. That's one thing I'm excited about too. Getting back. You know, I don't know why the hell that shit did that. The receiver to the mic just turned off by itself. I don't know why. My bad, man. I was just sitting here talking shit, and y'all couldn't hear a damn thing I was saying. Malcolm McCroy say just talking. Yeah, man. Y'all know how I get, man. I just get to running my mouth, man, and don't be reading the comments like I should. But I don't know how much y'all missed. 1 second. Let's see if this one works. Okay, can y'all hear me? Y'all should be able to hear me. And I'm kind of glad that happened because I got these two different, as y'all can see, I got these two different microphones. This is the one I started off with. The receiver to it just died. So that's why I just had to switch up. Good thing I got these other ones. But y'all let me know which one y'all think sound better between these two. Yeah, y'all let me know which microphone y'all think sound better between this one and the other one. I like that this one's like a little smaller. It's not as heavy like, you know, this one like drag your shirt down and shit. Y'all can hear me cool? Yeah, which microphone y'all think sound better though? This one or the first one? Because I haven't compared them myself. I ain't did like a video with that one versus this one and see which one sound better. So I don't know. Oh, you say this one. Okay, y'all like this one better. And you know the cold thing, I think this one was more expensive. This one was more expensive, I think. Because what happened was I went to go find this microphone. This is the one I was looking for, right? But I seen this one, bought this one, but then after I bought this one, I was walking and I seen another store that had this one. So that's why I bought this one, because I was like, well, fuck it. I might as well get both of them and then see which one, you know, sound better. But this one was more expensive. This one, I think I paid 70,000 pesos for this one. So that's like 70,000 pesos is like 17, 18 bucks, something like that. So this one, and it comes with two. So this one comes with the receiver, and then it's a pair. I got two of these, and then obviously this one is the same thing. But I like this one too, even though it's cheaper. Y'all saying the audio sound better, and this one comes with this case. I like this case, where you can put everything up in there. The receiver goes right there, and no, the receiver goes. No, yeah, the receiver goes right here. The microphones go right here. As you can see, it's two microphones. Nice little case. This more expensive one don't even come with a case. You just gotta like have the shit out loose, whatever. You know what I mean? I like the fact that this one comes in a case. And this one, I think I paid like 40,000 or 45,000 pesos, which is like between $10 and $11, or $10 and $12, something like that. Might as well just say $11. So this one with the nice case that sounds better was like $11. This one that don't have a case and don't sound as good It's like $17, $18. You know what I mean? So you watched the Puffy doc? Nah, I haven't watched it, man. I heard about it, but I haven't watched it though. It has good noise isolation. Okay, cool. Yeah. You sound clear on this one. The other one has more bass. Okay. What's that brand? I don't even know what the name of this brand is on this one. I couldn't tell you. I don't even think it got the name on it. Just say wireless. That's all it says, just wireless on there. Probably can't see it. That's all it says, wireless. That's the brand name, wireless. You dig? But I don't even know what this shit is called. It probably had the name on the box, the package that it came in, but you know, I threw that shit away. I can't even remember. But I probably could find it. I'd probably do like a Google image. I'd probably do a Google image search on it and find the brand name. Nah, the one you, the one you got on. Freeze, what up? Checking in from Jesse Owens Park. You dig? What's up with it, bro? Live and direct from Jesse Owens, huh? Hey, bro, I don't know if you ever heard me tell that story. Speaking of Jesse Owens, I got a story that involves Jesse Owens Park, right? So, funny story. I told this story before. A lot of y'all probably ain't heard it, so I'll tell it again, right? So, I'm playing Fig, right? This was about like, I want to say like 2017. 2017 or 18, but I want to say 2017, right? It was about 2017. I got a little broad down on Fig, right? Now the chick that I got down on Fig, she's from Arizona. She don't know nothing about South Central. She don't know nothing about California. She know a little bit about Fig. She done been down on Fig before, and I done explained to her how things go on Fig, what to do and definitely what not to do, right? So this bonehead broad, she does what not to do. Top of the morning, the sun just came up. It's probably like 7 o'clock, something like that. She's in the 90s. She was on like 95th Street, I think. Whatever that next block is north of Colden. I think that's 95th. One block north of Colden, I think is 95th, if I'm not mistaken. But she whatever that next block is after Colden, she was right there, right? And her dumb ass, she goes and sits down on the curb because she frustrated. Something had pissed her off. Something with a trigger. So I don't know why she was mad, but she was frustrated. So she went to go sit on the back street like she does in Arizona. She goes to sit on the back street to kind of clear her head and cool off, right? So she's sitting on Flower in like 95th or something like that. And per her description, some big old ugly ass gangster broad from Hoover push up on her. And she like, hey, you know where you at? The bitch was like, no, you know what I mean? And she like, is your folks from Hoover? Bitch like, nah. And she like, well, you know, if your folks ain't from Hoover, you can't be over here. And this silly ass bitch has her phone in her hand. Excuse me. So she got the phone in her hand like this, right? The Hoover bitch snatches the phone out of her hand. It says, yeah, tell your folks that if he want to get this phone back, he gonna have to pay me $25. So the bitch, I can't remember. I think she called me from somebody else's phone or something like that, right? But whatever the case, she get a hold of me. I go scoop her up. She tell me what happened. I'm like, yeah, bitch, I told your ass about sitting on the back streets around here, bitch. Like, you not in Phoenix, you in South Central. Like, it's different over here. You know what I mean? This ain't, you can't just be going up in these neighborhoods on the back streets and sitting on the curb, bitch. Like, this ain't the place for that. But anyway, like I said, she tell me that the bitch tell her that her folks gonna have to give her $25 for this phone, right? So it's a little bullshit trap phone. I wasn't tripping off the phone, but I gotta instill it in her that, like, bitch, you don't let nobody take nothing from you. I don't give a damn how big this bitch is, cause the little broad, my little broad, she like 5'1", 125 pounds. She little, you know what I mean? But I'm telling her, I'm like, you don't let nobody take nothing from you. Like, what's wrong with you? Now, it's top of the morning, so she got some sandals on, right? So I take her to Shoe City. I can't remember if Shoe City is on Manchester, but I want to say y'all, you probably could tell me, bro. I think Shoe City is like on Manchester, and like, I don't know if it's Normandy or Western. It's a Shoe City over there in that area somewhere, right? I take her to Shoe City. I get her some little Nikes or some, you know, some little bullshit tennis shoes, you know what I mean, to put on, right? So I go get her the tennis shoes. She put the tennis shoes on. Next, we go to Big Five on Crenshaw and Imperial, and we get some little T-ball bats, them little metal T-ball bats. I get 2 of them. Now this bitch, she not no fighter. You know what I mean? She not no aggressive type. She not no fighter. You know what I mean? She you know, she just ain't no fighter. So we get these 2 baseball bats, right? And I know the bitch ain't ready. So we go to Jesse Owens Park to get some practice in, right? I takes the bitch to Jesse Owens Park, and we go up to this tree. And I'm telling the bitch how to swing on the tree. I'm like having her pretend like this tree is the bitch. You know what I mean? It took the phone from her. And at first she all like timid. You know what I mean? She like barely swinging at the tree. You know what I mean? She like, hold on. She barely swinging at the tree. She acting all scary and shit. It's a damn tree. She act like the tree gonna attack her when she hit it. But I'm like, nah, bitch, you gotta swing at that tree like you mad, bitch. Like, this bitch took your phone, bitch. You can't let nobody take nothing from you, especially on the blade. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hell nah. So I'm telling her to swing at the tree, right? And I got my bat too, and I'm demonstrating. I'm like, man, you gotta hit that bitch in the knees, and I'm going low, and I'm like, you gotta hit that bitch in the head, and boom. So she going off my demonstration, so she swinging on the tree pretty good now. You know what I mean? She got her little confidence getting up. I'm like, yeah, hit that bitch in the knees, bitch. And she's swinging low on the tree like it's the knees. Hit that bitch upside the head, bitch. And she swing up top like it's she swing higher up on the tree like it's the bitch head and shit. So now I got her fired up. I'm like, bitch, you ready? She like, yeah, let's go. So we go back over there on Fig and 95th Street, and I had been calling the phone, but the bitch wasn't answering the phone, you know what I mean? And I'm texting her, I'm like, shit, you want this $25? I got you, you know what I mean? I got $25 right now. But the whole time, I'm telling the bitch, I say, okay, bitch, when you see the bitch, I'm gonna stop, you gonna point her out, you gonna hop out, and you gonna do your shit. And she's like, but daddy,
what if she like what if I miss her? What if I do something wrong? What if she take the bat from me? I said, bitch, she ain't gonna do nothing. I said, I got your back. I got my bat right here. I'm holding my bat. I said, bitch, if that bitch get the upper hand or if she do anything, bitch, I'm gonna get out and fuck that bitch up. She ain't finna do nothing to you, bitch. But you do your shit though. You see that bitch, you point her out, I'm gonna stop this car, you gonna hop out and you gonna do your shit. You gonna fuck that bitch up, bitch. Now she like fired up, you know what I mean? She been practicing on the tree. I'm hyping her up, you know what I mean? I'm Flavor Flav, Spliff Star like a motherfucker. I'm hyping this bitch up like a motherfucker, right? So Vermont, okay, yeah, it's probably Manchester and Vermont, the shoe city over there, yeah. But I got the bitch hyped up, right? And we riding around, we going down every street. We going down 95th, 94th, 93rd, Colden. We going down, we lurking, we trying to find this bitch, you know what I mean? And I'm telling her the whole time we riding around, like, bitch, you see that bitch, man, point the bitch out. I'm gonna stop this car. You gonna get out and get on that bitch head. She's like, okay, daddy, I'm ready. This bitch was fired up, you know what I mean? And she was disappointed when we couldn't find that. We rode around that motherfucker for about an hour, hoping that this bitch would show her face. And I'm calling the phone the whole time. She ain't answering the phone. Then she ended up turning the phone off. She ain't coming outside. We ain't seeing this bitch nowhere. The bitch was like hella disappointed at the end of it because she was fired. She was ready to get on the bitch, you know what I mean, with her little petite soft ass, you know what I mean? She was ready to get on this bitch, but we ended up not finding her ass. You talking about warehouse shoe sale? Nah, it wasn't warehouse shoe sale. It was Shoe City. It might not be on Vermont. I thought it was on Vermont, but it's not warehouse shoe sale. It's Shoe City. But yeah, man, but now when you mentioned Jesse Owens Park, it reminded me of that because I took the bitch up to Jesse Owens and we was practicing on that tree. You know what I mean? I had the bitch fucking that tree up. You know what I mean? Like it was the bitch. She was fired up about that shit. First she was scared. When I first gave her the little bat to start practicing, she was scared. You know what I mean? Then she got a few swings in, started getting her confidence up. And then she went from being scared to being disappointed that we didn't find the bitch. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I had to let her know, man, like, bitch, I don't give a fuck how big this bitch is. This bitch could be King Kong, Godzilla size. You don't let no bitch take nothing from you. That's how I teach mine, man. We ain't let nobody take nothing. But yeah, that was funny times though. Good times, man. Oh, okay, Auntie. I should have known. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Tweety Bird Jr., that's my auntie. I don't know why I didn't. I said the name out loud and didn't even think about what I was saying. But yeah, that's my auntie though. Shout out to my auntie, Tweety Bird Jr. That's funny because my auntie is Tweety Bird and my brother is Big Bird. Right, she got her put on. That was her put on, going to the tree and getting her practicing it. And then, now her put on would have been to get up on that bitch and go upside her head with that bat. That would have been her put on. She would have been from the set after that. Hey, Freeze, how I find Sinful music. Unfortunately, Sinful didn't really have like no music like that, but I do have some things that I'm working on that has like Sinful singing. and I'm doing some, working some magic with that. So I do have some music with Sinful on it, but Sinful never like recorded any music, you know what I mean, and put it out. So, that Greyhound in Dallas in front of that McDonald's finna close this coming year, P. Damn, I remember. Yeah, I know that Greyhound downtown Dallas for sure. Yep, got some memories at that Greyhound from back in the day. Yes, indeed. I heard a bitch called. Oh, you talking about white bitch pimping? Hold on, let me put the link in the chat right now. Now, of course, white bitch pimping. That's a sinful song, but the Malachi and Sepulveda the Prince recorded. They made a song out of that, and I'm about to put the link in the chat right now to the whole album. Now, you can't share the whole. Can't share the playlist. That's whack. Hold on. But yeah, that's the song that you're talking about. Mix them up. Now, Sepulveda the Prince and Malachi made a whole mixtape, a whole album. In dedication to bro. And it's called Back to This Game that I Never Left. So yeah, y'all go check that album out though, man. I shared it when they dropped it, but I do need to promote it more because it's actually pretty dope. In your opinion, what was the most dangerous blade you had to pimp on? Most dangerous blade? So for me, right? See, cause like I'll say this, right? Like I think when it comes to certain blades, the element of danger is different for the ladies than it is for the men, right? Now, for the ladies, the most dangerous blade, like where them hoes had to deal with the most shit. I can't really say which one was the most dangerous, but I take that back. I probably have to say Holt. Holt is where I've had like the scariest shit happen to my 304s. You know what I mean? I think I told y'all the story where a 304 of mine got kidnapped on Holt, and they held her hostage for like 24 hours because they thought she was somebody else. They mistook her for somebody else. Some essays kidnapped her, thinking that she was a different bitch, and they basically was holding her all that time to confirm whether or not she was who they thought she was. And if she was who they thought she was, it was gonna be bad. And I'm so glad they didn't think she was who they thought she was. I'm so glad that they figured out that she wasn't who they thought she was. But yeah, they kidnapped her on Hope. It was about like 8:30 at night in the evening time. And they snatched her up. She disappeared. And you know how the pimpin' think, man. We be thinking like when a bitch phone going to voicemail or she ain't answering or something like that, we thinking she in jail. But you know, I pretty much know how long it takes for somebody's name to show up in the system where you could look them up and see that they in jail, but she wasn't in jail. Top of the morning roll around, she still ain't in jail. I'm like, damn, man, what's going on with this bitch? I ain't got no phone call, ain't nobody served me. So then, at almost the same exact time the following night, it was about between 8:30 the following night, she calls me out of nowhere. I'm like, damn. So when she called me, I go scoop her up. She tell me what happened. I'm like, damn. She said they blindfolded her, but they was cool with her the whole time. They didn't like, you know, do anything violent or violating to her aside from kidnapping her. You know, they fed her, gave her water, shit to drink. She had to use the bathroom. She go use the bathroom, but the whole time she was blindfolded. You know what I mean? But yeah, that happened on Hope. And then another time, a trick busted on my bitch. They had a little discrepancy in the car, and this was in broad daylight. This was probably like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The bitch and the trick, they had like a little issue. He got mad over something, and she jumped out the car and was running away from him, and he fired at the bitch, and that shit, like, he popped a couple shots at the bitch, and they went like right by her head. So, yeah, as far as for the 304s, the most dangerous shit that I've dealt with has been on Hope. Now, I had shit happen on other blades too, you know what I mean? I remember a trick football tackled my bitch on OBT one time, man. Similar type situation, man. I had a bitch down on OBT. She in the car with the trick doing a date. For one reason or another, the trick get mad at the bitch. She got stilettos on, mind you. She get out the car. She trying to run from the trick in stilettos. The trick gets out the car and does a motherfucking Lawrence Taylor on the bitch, tackles the bitch to the ground in the dirt. She got like road rash scars all over. And mind you, she was on automatic at the time. When this was going on, I think I was on the West Coast somewhere. I was probably either in Vegas or California. But she was in Orlando down on OBT. And see, this is why, man, bras was just built different back then, man. They not built the same no more, man. This internet just got people's heads so fucked up, man. But like, this bra, now mind, listen to what I'm saying. She's on automatic. I'm thousands of miles away. She in Orlando by herself, down. She get football tackled to the ground. She bleeding. Her knees and elbows is all scraped up. Do you know this broad went back to the hotel room, licked her wounds, you know, changed her clothes, put some peroxide on and all that shit, and went and got right back down and ran it up. You know what I mean? That little bra right there was that bra right there was a soldier. This same broad I'm talking about, right? So the same broad that shit happened to on OBT, right? I used to keep her on automatic. She was just like, she just like knew my program so well and just like was so enthusiastic about the game. You know, I could leave her on automatic for months at a time. Months at a time, she gonna handle my business, no problem. You know what I mean? She was just a real good 304. You know what I mean? A real good 304. But this same chick I'm talking about, right? Another time, she was on automatic in Orange County. She on automatic in Orange County playing Harbor, and I was in the Midwest somewhere. I think I was in Chicago. So I'm in Chicago. She's in Orange County, California, and she had like a series of bullshit happen. One day, she get into it with a trick. The trick punched her in the eye, gave her a black eye. She's still getting down. Then another day, you know what I mean? This is why when you some pimping, right, it's good to have, like, you got to have a pimp's eye. See, when you got a pimp's eye, you could tell who's renegading and who got folks. Even if you see a bitch for months and you don't know who her folks is, you can tell by the way she's moving. 9 times out of 10 if she got folks or not. You know what I mean? Now, she had been in Orange County for probably at least a month on automatic, right? And so didn't nobody know who her folks was. Now, I got partners around there, but it was this little young cat out there from Richmond, and he didn't know who the bitch folks was, so he just assumed that she was renegading. He was just like a little young wild dude from Richmond, right? Trying to get his feet wet and shit, but he was just like a little rambunctious and shit, right? So the bitch standing at the Vagabond Inn right there on Harbor in the 405, top of the morning, she pulled up to the hotel. She was driving herself to and from the Blade. She pulls up to the hotel, she get out the car, and when she's going into her room, the little young Richmond dude, he pushes his way up into the room with the bitch, you know what I mean? And like, bitch, you's a renegade, you out here on the Blade, you know what I mean, thinking that you just gonna renegade around here and you ain't got no folks, and bitch, you think it's finna just be all good. So this bitch is such a hoe. See, these bitches is different, man. Bitches don't hoe like this no more, man. But that's because motherfuckers don't pimp like that either. Like I was pimping and like I still pimp. You did? But anyway, this bitch stays in pocket the whole time. Dude done pushed his way up into the room with the bitch. He all in her room. She ain't been out of pocket. She didn't do nothing to cause him to do this. But he done pushed his way up into the room talking about she renegade and, you know, this, that, and the third. So the whole time she don't look at him. She don't say nothing to him. She stays fully in pocket. She called me and put me on speakerphone. She like this, with her head down, looking the other way. You know what I mean? And I answer the phone. I'm like, what's going on? She like, Daddy, I'm in my room right now. It's some pimping up in here. He think I'm a renegade. He done pushed his way up in here. He came in here because he think I'm a renegade, and I didn't want to tell him that I got folks because I didn't want to be out of pocket. So that's why I called you, and I got you on speakerphone right now so he could hear you. So I'm like, yeah, man, what's going on, man? What's your name, man? He like, yeah, man, what do? I don't want to say his name, but some of y'all probably know who he is. I'm gonna tell you what ended up happening to him later on. He like, yeah, man, it's whoop out that Richmond, man. And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, obviously, as you can see, man, the bitch got folks, man. So, you know, P, I don't know why you in this bitch's room, man. You're not finna do a date with her, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know why you in this bitch's room, man. The bitch stayed, she was in pocket. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Did she get out of pocket? He like, nah, man, the bitch she ain't do no out of pocket shit, man. I just ain't seen this bitch with no pimping around here, man. So I just thought the bitch was a renegade, man. Whoop. So so he leave about the room, right? Now, I call one of my partners around there, and my partner knows him, right? So my partner gets us all on the phone together. So we having a conference call now, me, him, and my partner, right? So now my partner, he's some seasoned game like me. This Richmond dude, he younger and kind of green still and getting his feet wet. So we all on the phone now. It's just us, and I'm like, yeah, man, P, you should have been able to tell how the bitch was moving. That she wasn't no renegade. And then my partner, who I've been knowing for years, he didn't know that was my game. But he told me, he was like, P, I was thinking the same thing as far as like I didn't see her with no folks. I didn't know who her folks was. But he was like, I could just tell P by the way that she was moving that she had to be under instructions. Ain't no way in the world that the way she moving like this, that she's a renegade out here. She gotta have some folks. She gotta have some instructions. So like, yeah, man, so whatever the case, it wasn't no big deal. We smoothed it out. You know what I mean? Like gentlemen in the game do. But this same guy, same young dude that I'm talking about, some time later, because this was back in this is like 2012. But the same young dude that I'm talking about, probably less than a year later, might have been like in 2013 or something, he goes to Hawaii and he doing his thing in Hawaii, and he ends up catching a HT charge. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was the first guy to catch a HT charge in Hawaii. He was all in the news and shit. And if he wasn't the very first, he was definitely one of the first. But I want to say he was the very first guy to catch that kind of charge in Hawaii. And I think he ended up getting a lot of time, man. But I don't know. It'd be nice to know he was free. I don't know if he got out or did all his time or if he's still locked up. I don't know. But whatever the case, best of blessings to that young man. Yeah, he got the HT charge in Hawaii, man. They smacked him with that. Right, built solid, sucker repellent. You already know, man. They could just handle a whole lot back then. And she was from the Midwest, man. Y'all done heard me say it before, man. But like, some of my favorite 304s, some of my favorite ladies in the game that I've had have been ladies from the Midwest, man. Them chicks from the Midwest, they just built different. You know what I mean? They tough. They not scary. They can withstand some shit. You know what I mean? They they gonna fight if they got to. They gonna stand their ground. And they gonna get some money for sure. They gonna get to it. They ain't gonna play no games. You know what I mean? I just like them. I like the Midwest chicks. Odie the Brody say memorable Golden A Reed and Sputnik stories. Yeah. Rest in peace to Sputnik, man. That was my guy, man. Spud was a good dude. He was funny as hell too. Sputnik was hilarious, man. Like, me and Simple used to say that shit all the time, but like Spud, he was in the game and shit like that. But Spud really was supposed to be a comedian, man. Sputnik should have been a stand-up comedian. Like, he just was just so naturally funny without even trying. Like, that's really what he should have been doing. But I don't know. I'll probably have to do a live at a separate time about Golden A. Reed and Sputnik. Golden A. Reed was just a mad scientist with the game. He just like super serious about the game. But yeah, I learned a lot from Golden A. Reed. But yeah, man, good old classic times, man, in the game. Damn, Chris B said it. Chris B. Smith, he said, I bet she was from the Midwest. Before I even revealed that she was from the Midwest, you said that, and you were correct, sir. She was from the Midwest, man. Midwest ones, man, I'm telling you, they just was. Oh, shit. Midwest ones, man, they just built different. Have you ever had to put hands on a trick? Nah. I done had to scare a few tricks, though. I done scared a few of them, but, I ain't never had to, like, put hands on one. It's something that I wish I could have put hands on, but, I didn't have the opportunity to. But then it was something that I was able to confront. But, they be so scared. And the situation don't be serious enough for me to have to put hands on them. But the situation that was serious enough for me to put hands on somebody, I just, unfortunately was never able to do anything about it. That's why game is imperative, man, because you could be across the street, you could be next door. And a brawl can get into a situation with a trick, man. And, it just take a split second for some bullshit to happen. And you can't get there in time to do anything about it. So, Freeze, was the Colombian food healthier than U.S. food? I would say so. I just think that the U.S. Cause see, that's you gotta understand. Like, the U.S. is we're cash cows to them. And it's a lot of money in the food industry, and it's a lot of money in the quote unquote health industry, or pharmaceutical industry. So they do a lot of shit to the food in the US to make people sick that they don't do in other countries, I believe. So I think the U.S. puts a lot of shit in food and on food that they don't put in food and on food in other countries. So, yeah. Any stories you played in San Jose? I know you ain't talking about San Jose, Costa Rica. That's where I'm at right now. But you probably talking about San Jose, California. Nah, I never played San Jose, California. I done sent some people out there a few times, but I never like really went out there myself and did my thing because I always heard so many horror stories. I always looked at San Jose. I always looked at San Jose like the Northern Cali version of Orange County. And, I didn't want to experience a second Orange County. The original Orange County is scary enough, you dig? Freeze, did you ever know Pretty Ricky? I'm not sure which Pretty Ricky you talking about, but the first Pretty Ricky that comes to mind for me is Pretty Ricky out of Detroit. And if you talking about Pretty Ricky from Detroit, yeah, I know him. Is it me or Free's favorite PJ Washington? Yeah, that's just you, man. You ever played Reno, Nevada? A little bit, not like real heavy, but I done The one Sin was locked up with. Yeah. That's the same one. Yeah, the one Sin was locked up with. That's Pretty Ricky from Detroit. And yeah, I know him for sure. But as far as Reno, yeah, I done been through there and like I say, stuck my toes in the water, but I ain't really submerged myself in that Reno like that. If this is a non-contact sport, where does the line draw, P? It's supposed to be a non-contact sport, but everybody doesn't play by those same rules. And even though we in the game, everybody is not game connoisseurs. Everybody ain't mouthpiece type of guys. Everybody ain't poised enough to settle issues with game, resolve issues with game, talk it out. Everybody ain't built for that. So it's supposed to be a non-contact sport, but it don't always go that way. Go Young DJ says, any Holt stories? You must have just got here because I just told some Holt stories. So you must have just tapped in, man. You're going to have to come back on the replay to get the Holt stories. Not in Dallas, we got P's. Taking out P's every other week, no cap. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. That ain't just Dallas, though, man. But that do happen a lot in Texas, though. I can't lie. It ain't just Dallas. It happens in Houston, too. But, Texas ain't the only place that be happening, but it does happen a lot in Texas, man. I hate to say that, man. I know some good P's who done met their demise in that Texas, man. Ain't cool. Damn, how I missed it. Laugh out loud. I gotta rewind later. Yeah, you catch it on the replay. But I just told a couple good Pomona stories, Holt stories. You did. Detroit Hebrew says, how much for consultation fees? Because you cold-blooded, no Rick James, laugh out loud. Detroit Hebrew, if you go to my YouTube channel and you go to the About section of the YouTube channel, you'll see a link on there for consultations. If you click on the link for the consultations, you'll see the rates on there for the consultations. It's different rates on there depending on how much time you want. But yeah, like I said, go to the About section, click on the link, and you can see over there. Tyler says, are you going to do a video on Jay Diggs? I can. I haven't seen the latest. I would imagine he probably got a sentence by now, but I don't know what he got sentenced to. I know what he was facing, but I don't know what he got sentenced to. In the square world, what's the closest thing to a P? Nothing. King T-Van says, Detroit Hebrew, shut the F up with all them square ass questions. What is that noise, P? They doing some construction over here. I'm at the airport. I'm sitting by this little bar and grill, and they doing some construction over here. See where that white wall is right there, directly ahead of me? They doing some construction behind that wall, so that's why you hear the saws and the tools and shit, the noise and all that. That's what the noise is. So yeah, man. Bummy Davis says, "Why the bras in Phoenix and Seattle look better than the hoes on Fig? I thought LA would be exclusive." Uh, Now as far as Phoenix, Phoenix has its times, but just on any given day, no. The 304s in Phoenix do not look better, or at least on, I'll say, 27th. When you say Phoenix, I'm imagining you talking about 27th. If we just talking about 27th, no. Overall, pound for pound, the bras on 27th do not look better than the bras on Fig. That's not correct. You might have just had that luck of the draw one time, but normally on any given day, if you look at all the bras on 27th and all the bras on Fig, the bras on Fig is gonna crush them. So I don't know what's happening with the Fig that you looking at right now, but nah, Fig be having some work. Fig be having them. Seattle too, you know what I mean? But I can't really say Seattle. I don't know, between Seattle and Fig. I don't know. But then a lot of them blades, all three of them places be having the same bras. You know, they be rotating around. You know, a lot of them. Of course, you got some that ain't been to each one of the other spots, but you know, for the most part, Seattle, Phoenix, and Fig, they all, you know, it's the same rotation of bras. Heartbreak Cherry, good looking with the $5 holla. Freeze, what's the biggest your stable has been, and how many did you maintain at once for a substantial amount of time? I've been about 4 deep, man, numerous times. You know, I've never been the type to like try to just count heads. I always been the type to count bread. But I done been 4 deep numerous times, but I've been 3 deep longer than I've been 4 deep. And I've been 3 deep several times for extended periods of time. Y'all going at it in these comments, y'all funny as hell. Go be curious somewhere else. You sleepless as yet. Oh man, funny as hell. Reno was hella quiet when I went mid-October. Yeah, it's probably more active in summertime or springtime. Heartbreak pay the size freeze up. Y'all funny. I bet he didn't come to Fig on the weekend. You ain't even got to go to Fig on the weekend, man. Any given day. It's Thursday night right now, and I know I know Fig is on full right now, and with some work. You know what I mean? Fig be having some gorgeous bitches. They don't really be 304s like that, but if you just talking about just looks, yeah, Fig got it. Fig be having some gorgeous specimens down there. You did? Need some Mac Man stories. Man, y'all really want the Mac Man stories. Why snitches in P game not as glorified as it is, excuse me, on other factions of the streets? What do you mean, like, are you asking like why are snitches in the P game not as like accepted and respected as they are in other? Because if that's what you asking, then I would have to disagree, because there's certain snitches in the P game that's accepted and respected, well-known snitches, self-admitted snitches, bold snitches that people still accept and respect in the P game. So I don't know if that's what you was asking, or if I'm misinterpreting your question, MC Dante. Okay, Heartbreak once again. Good looking with a $5 holla. How do you feel about introducing your chicks? Do you ever run different game on different chicks? Well, that's a big problem with that's a big problem with the game as a whole right now. A lot of these young dudes, I can't even just put it on the young dudes, it's just the times that we in. But a lot of these guys, they be tiptoeing with they pimping, or supposed to be pimping. You know, they be keeping shit from this bitch while they with this bitch over here, then they keeping shit from that bitch while they with this bitch over here. Like, nah, you gotta be candid, man. But I introduce chicks to each other with no problem. But sometimes in some situations, even though they are aware of each other, obviously they know that this one over here is her wifey, and this one know that one over there is her wifey. Sometimes it's good to like keep them apart. You know what I mean? But most of the time, I say about, I can't say most of the time. Most of the time, I'm pretty good about, you know, chicks getting along with each other. You know? But most of the time when they don't get along with each other, it be having to do with, you know, the bedroom situations. You know, and it ain't always having too much bedroom activity. Sometimes when it's not, that's why, you know, bras with like super duper low self-esteem. Now don't get it twisted. Every broad at some point in time is going, I don't give a damn how beautiful she is and all that shit. You know, how many guys is drooling over. You know, every female is going to experience self-esteem issues at some point or another. You know, but then you have some whose self-esteem is just constantly on life support. And sometimes it be the most beautiful bras. Sometimes these chicks be drop dead gorgeous, but their self-esteem is just in the gutter all the time. And with those kind of broads, because I've had situations like that where I'm not giving the pipe to nobody. You know what I mean? I'm not having no bedroom activities with nobody. And not even myself. And you know, a chick will get around another chick that she's intimidated by as far as the looks, and she just assumes that since she's not getting no bedroom activities, then this other broad or these other chicks, they gotta be getting it because I'm not getting it. This be their mindset, right? and so the jealousy starts there. You know what I mean? Then they want to interrogate their wifeys and all that type of shit. And I don't go for none of that. Like, bitch, like, you don't talk to this bitch about what we do in the bedroom, and she ain't gonna talk to you about what we do in the bedroom. You know, we ain't doing all that. Like me, I don't do all the orgies and all that shit. Don't get it twisted. I done had, a little fun when I was younger and shit like that. But I learned early in the game that that's just a recipe for disaster, man. All of that, having orgies in the bedroom or letting them have fun with each other. I ain't with none of that. You know what I mean? So, and on that same token, we keeping our business between us. You know, y'all ain't finna be, trying to brag to each other and outdo each other on who had the most fun and who know daddy the best in the bedroom and all that type of. We ain't getting into all of that. But a lot of times when wifeys be having issues with each other, it be because of that. Somebody is like really, and see this is shit a lot of pimps don't be talking about, man. But I just gotta say it because, and I'm not saying it because I say it. I'm saying it because them hoes be saying it about me. But when you have a lot of 304s in your career that finds you highly attractive, it's hard to pimp accordingly, man. The ugly guys or the guys that consider themselves ugly or the guys that, they don't consider themselves heartthrobs or, they don't consider themselves like, pleasers in the bedroom and shit like that. Or even if they ain't in the bedroom, chicks ain't just dying to have them in the bedroom. Them type of guys, they could pimp a lot much easier than those of us that women just like are dying to get in bed with, man. When you one of them guys, man, where chicks are just dying to get in the bedroom with, there's certain challenges that you gonna have, man, that guys who don't fit that criteria ain't gonna have. I see. It ain't no mystery why why a lot of y'all see me as like this gamed up individual, man. I had to go through it to get this game. I didn't have nobody just. Now don't get it twisted. I done chop game with elders in the game. People that come before me and they done bless me with some game. But like the best game that I got, I really had to go through it to get this shit. You know what I mean? I really had to go through it to get the game that I got, man. I went through certain shit that really, really sharpened me up, man. And like I said, when you one of them guys that chicks just, are dying to have in the bed, even if you ain't giving nobody no bedroom action. You might be 3, 4, 5 deep and you ain't touching nobody. If you one of them guys that they just dying to have in there, man, it's gonna be, you're gonna be faced with certain challenges, man. And that's a thing. And then also, one thing you got to be careful of when you a guy that they really want to have in the bedroom, man. Certain chicks will choose you not to get pimped on, but just to be in the bedroom with you, man. Just to be in the bed with you. That's it. They will break themselves. They will get down on that thing. You know what I mean? And they might have a little bit of appreciation for the game, but it's really lust that's driving them. I done had chicks do some, above and beyond things for the lust. Not because they wanted me to make their horn better. Not because they wanted me to mash on them and bring the best out of them. Not because they wanted me to lace them up, proper and just instill a whole bunch of game in them. Nah, you got certain chicks that'll make some major sacrifices and go through hell and high water just to get in bed with you. When you one of them type of guys, man. For real, man. I'd have had chicks like really pay me, man. And it wasn't to get mashed on, it was to get mashed in. They didn't want me to mash on them, they wanted me to mash in them, man. And you know, when you young and you don't know no better, and they coming and they doing certain things, you be thinking, okay, yeah, I got me a good one. But it don't really be that, man. You know, she just pretending, she playing the role as good as she can just to get you in the bed. It's a difference between that and, you know, you might knock something and she's attracted to you and she does look forward to having fun with you, but she's there for the game. She's there because she want to be all she could be in the game, and she believes that you are that individual that can make her that. So, you know, that's her biggest priority when it comes to dealing with you. You got ones like that, and then you got ones that'll pretend to be like that just so they can get in bed with you. For real, man. You know, them ugly ass dudes, man, them ugly ass niggas, they can't relate to that, man. And, you know, they be thinking that, you know, just because you a handsome pimp or a fly pimp, you know what I mean, and the ladies find you attractive, they be thinking that you got it easy. Or they be thinking that you not really, you know, you ain't got no real pimping with you. You know, it ain't your pimping that's knocking these bitches. It's your looks, or it's your bedroom game, or all that. It's because you freaky and all that type of shit. Nah. A lot of them dudes wouldn't understand, man. It'd be hard, man. Like, I done really had to fight bras, man. It'd be an everyday fight to pimp accordingly, man. It'd be an everyday fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bill, you already know, man. They don't want to get mashed on. They want to get mashed in, man. If she wants some D, she need a square. It's not even necessarily that. It's just, you know, see, we human beings at the end of the day, man. You know, everybody like to have fun, but it's when the fun becomes the top priority that it's a problem. And that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Because I ain't like these dudes. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to you, man. Whoever came up with that myth that pimps don't have fun with their 304s, they was tripping. You know what I mean? Or they was trying to throw people off or whatever. I don't know. But me, I like having fun with mine. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. But at the same time, I don't let that be the dominating force in what's going on. I don't allow that to dictate anything that's going on. That's it's a lot of other priorities that take precedent over that. You know, we not here for that first and foremost. You know, we gonna do that. We gonna treat ourselves to that. We gonna, you know, reward ourselves with that. But that's not primarily what we here for. When the broad makes it primarily what we here for, then that's when it becomes an issue. You dig? It would be funny as F to hear Sinful to Pete roast Lush from No Jumper. Yeah, Lush, he a train wreck. Bless his heart. The other gentleman could have had the same problems if they weren't breaking themselves for the food, grease and sugar breaking on them like they do the broad. Yeah, man. That's real. Because see, what a lot of people, I'm glad you said that, Bill. Because, you know, you got a lot of dudes that consider themselves ugly and all this other type of shit. But listen, man, you know, a lot of females are the same as guys. Because, you know, a lot of dudes, right? They might see a broad face first. They be like, man, I don't know, she ain't really all that in the face. Then they see her body, and the face don't even matter no more. They see her body, and they be like, damn, her banging, man. I don't give a damn how ugly this bitch is, man. Her body so cold, man. I gotta have that. Be the same way, man. You know, a dude could be funny looking in the face and all that type of shit, but if he on swole or he cut up or he got the type of body that she like, face don't even matter no more. She just want parts of that body. You dig? So you're right, Bill. If dudes would stop being a slave to that bullshit, high, over processed, highly refined carbs and all that type of shit, bullshit food, if they wasn't being slaves to that, if they wasn't getting pimped on by the bullshit food, then they'd be a lot better off. Have you ever encountered have you ever had dangerous encounters with uncles, brothers, fathers, or some chicks? Dangerous encounters? Nah. Like with family members? Nah. I ain't never had no dangerous encounters with my family. What you think about catching a new bitch at the gym, P? Now, me, I don't really be catching at the gym like that because I just be, when I get to the gym, man, I put my music on and I just be in the zone. Now, certain chicks that I speak to, I say hello to and chit chat with and things like that, but I don't really be getting a lot of action at the gym like you would think because I just be in the zone working out. But if you just so happen to catch something at the gym, I think that'll be cool because if a chick goes to the gym on a regular basis, 9 times out of 10, she's she most likely don't have like a drug habit. It's not impossible that she doesn't, or that she does or whatever. But chick to go to the gym on a daily, 9 times out of 10, she don't have like no substance abuse problems or nothing like that. So that's good. She has discipline because it takes discipline to get up and go to the gym on a consistent basis. So she got some cool mental fortitude about herself. So yeah, the gym. But then it depends though, because you got different types of chicks that be in the gym. You got certain chicks that go to the gym just to be cute. They ain't gonna sweat too hard, and they're not gonna go too hard. But I like them chicks and just like go to the gym that's fine as hell, and they go hard. They gonna work up a sweat and still be fine as hell. And yeah, I like them kind. You know. Oh, not the chick's family? Oh, that's, yeah, I misread what you said. Dangerous situations? Nah. Personally, I haven't had any, fortunately, I haven't had any dangerous situations with the broad's family, siblings, parents, or anything like that, fortunately. I usually do pretty well with broad's families most of the time. Sometimes it might be a situation where the family don't really, care for me like that, but they respect me, enough to where, we civil with each other, but I ain't never really had like no real issues, and it's definitely not no dangerous situations with a broad family. Like you broke a new chick, y'all fall out, and her family threatening you. Nah, I ain't never had that type of issue. Don Supreme says, What are your thoughts on women from Baltimore? Uh, I can't really say. Can't really speak on Baltimore women in particular, but I know some beautiful sisters that come from Baltimore. Just the DMV period. As far as black women, DMV got them. But Baltimore in particular, I can't really say. I know it's a lot of grimy chicks that come from there, but I know they don't speak for every Baltimore chick. But there's some grimy women that come from Baltimore. I do know that. Oh no, I missed a few super Russ. Detroit Hebrew, good looking with that $2 holler. Y'all break yourselves in half. Laugh my ass off. I don't know what you mean by that. Sharif, as always, good looking with that $2 holler. Who's that? Oh. Salute Freeze giving up that international ism. Appreciate you, Sharif. Hold on a second. Damn. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Heartbreak Cherry once again. Good look with that $5 holler. Oh, and that's what you asked that question again. Have you ever had dangerous encounters with uncles' fathers? Yeah. We covered that already, but good looking. What are your thoughts about New York City? I love New York City. I ain't been there in a long while. I ain't really kicked it in New York in a very long time, but I love New York though. New York is cool. It's probably a lot different since the last time I've been there though. You know, times is different now. I ain't really like kicked it in New York for real since like 2009, 2010. And I know it's probably a different world from back then. But yeah, I like New York. I just noticed the boys got the Christmas ornaments holding on with a zip tie. Yep. I didn't even peep that until you just pointed it out. But this part don't really be on display. You know, when you downstairs looking up, you can see, because this is like the back of it. The front part of it, you can't even see the zip tie, so guess it ain't bad. Have you went to Alaska? No, I ain't been to Alaska, but I've heard good things about it though. You know what really kills me about today's times, man? People don't give a damn about the accuracy of the information that they put out there. People don't give a damn about the accuracy of the questions that they ask. People don't give a damn about the accuracy of what comes out of their mouth. It's like you don't give a damn about, like, this is what you saying and this is the truth, and like you don't care how what you say lines up with the truth. You just be saying shit. You just be saying shit. Say, P, what happened when you whooped the old girl in Vegas with the belt and threw rocks at her on video? Now I know you probably a troll page, but it's like, where you get rocks from? Like, and then why are you even asking that question? What happened with her? I don't know. Go find her. You know what I mean? Like, boy, people be like, y'all be acting like your mama, man. That shit crazy. God damn. I had a female tell me whip her with a belt one time. That's nada. Yeah, you know, you got your freaky ones that's into that type of shit. Can you be self-taught in the game? Well, the game is a social environment. You know, you learn from experiences that you have with people. So when you say self-taught, there's only so much that you can teach yourself. You know, how people get seasoned in the game is by being active in the game, dealing with other people in the game, having experiences with other people in the game, you know, going through ups, downs, and turnarounds with other people in the game. That's how you really get seasoned and learn in the game. So who knows? That's the FBI and DHS troll accounts. I don't even think so, man. I just think it's just somebody who just don't think. Like, people just be saying shit. Like I said, man, that's the acting like they mama troll account. Now, you know, if you say some shit, it might be some hater shit or some sucker shit, but at least it got some accuracy to what you saying. You know, that ain't really so bad. "50 Floors Up" says, can you speak on the disrespect dudes will accept just for the money? Oh my goodness. Man, we'll be here till next year. This will be the longest live in the history of YouTube. We'll be live until summertime talking about the disrespect that these dudes will accept just for the money, man. And I hate to say it because, you know, I ain't mad at nobody for shining and doing their thing, having their money and all that type of shit. But the reality is, man, the majority of these dudes that you see that appear to be having their way is tolerating a whole lot of disrespect from these bras, man. Unbelievable amounts of disrespect from the broad. Shit is crazy, man. You know, the broad is really the folks. The broad is really the head of the situation. A lot of these dudes is following the lead of the broad. They following the broad here, following the broad there. You know what I mean? Which you already know, if you following the broad anywhere, it's you're eventually gonna be led off a cliff. But yeah, man, it's the disrespect. I mean, a lot of these dudes be tolerating disrespect and don't even know it's disrespect. It's so many forms of disrespect that a lot of people don't even interpret as disrespect that they endure. Like for instance, right? If your broad is down on the blade and she, because this type of stuff happens. A broad might get mad at a P because he looked at her wrong. A broad might get mad at the P for doing his job, which is shooting a shot at her. He might not have said anything disrespectful. He just simply shot a shot at her. But when a broad gets mad at an individual for whatever reason, and she's able to call you and say, Daddy, get over here. This fool just did this and he just did that. He said this and he said that. And then you hurry up and jump and run over there like the Flash. You go ahead and Usain Bolt your way to the track to go get into it with this man without asking him any questions and getting his side of the story or anybody else's side of the story. You just go off with the bras. That's disrespectful. For her to call you and expect you to jump when she say jump and be her henchman and come protect her from something that's not even dangerous, which is a gentleman, shooting a shot at her. That's disrespectful. But a lot of these dudes, they don't think that's disrespectful. They think they doing what they supposed to do. They think they think the pimping is supposed to be a bodyguard. Kevin Costner. And no, that's not my job. Like Mac Dre say, that's not my job. I don't do that. I'm a pimp/pimp. I thought you knew that. But yeah, like I said, we'll be here all day talking about the disrespect that dudes endure for the dollars. How do I talk to a woman? Evan Lockett. How you talk to a woman is you open your mouth and you say words. And when you open your mouth and you say these words, you direct those words to the woman. And that there, my friend, is how you talk to a woman. And as the old cliche goes, practice makes perfect. So the more you open your mouth and say words and direct those words to a woman, the better you will become at it. And the more effective you will be at it. And the more confident you will become in it. So, yeah, just open your mouth, man. It's very simple. But P, she the snow. That's what they gonna tell you too. But P, she the snow. How do you learn what's disrespect and what's not? You got to learn yourself, and you got to learn what you stand for. You got to stand for something. See, when you stand for certain things, you know what dignity is. And dignity is how you respect yourself, right? Your dignity is your self-respect. So if you know how you respect yourself, then from there you should know how you want other people to respect you. Because you respect yourself a certain way. And obviously when you know how you want other people to respect you and they go contrary to that, then that's how you find yourself being disrespected. Sharif say Saul B actually throw money at a P, get thee behind me, say, yeah, just stuff like that. Like throwing money, man. Yeah, I don't do that. I had a chick throw money at me one time, and that was her last time throwing money at me. Bro came in drunk one night, had a decent little night, made like a few bands or something like that. And thought because she had a decent night. See, you gotta check that type of stuff too. See, it be things like that. That's how the disrespect, just mutates and grows and expands and spreads and lives and thrives by not checking that shit. And a lot of dudes don't check certain things, and a lot of times, you know, a chick, especially when they're young, kind of like fresher in the game, and they haven't done certain things. When they do certain things and they have good nights and things like that, sometimes they get beside themselves, and you can't really count it against them because it's understandable. But you got to check it though. I done had bras think that they could just dictate what's going on and give me instructions and tell me what's finna go on because she had a good night. No, bitch, you can shove that money up your ass and get the fuck on before you tell me what to do and what's finna happen. But no, you just gotta politely, gentleman-like, check that shit. Pisces Hayes says, I saw a video title of yours saying you come back to the U.S. Yeah, come back home to the U.S. of A. Safe travels. Yeah, I'm on my way back currently, Hayes. I'm in Costa Rica right now, and I have about 8 more hours before my flight takes off. So I'm like Tom Hanks right now at the terminal, posted up. It's a lot of people here overnight like me, though, surprisingly. But I guess not surprisingly because it's international airport, it's people flying all over the world. So there's probably a lot of people in my position where they, waiting until the morning to catch their flight. But it's a lot of people with their suitcases just hanging out, got their little neck pillows and in the chair, probably watching Netflix or something, getting a nap in, all the shit. But yeah, I'm camped out at the airport right now. You dig? Chopping it up with y'all. Cali Boy Lifestyle, good looking with the $20 holla. How's Spanish speaking / learning going, P? It's been going real cool, man. That's another thing that I'm like disappointed about leaving Colombia about, and that's the fact that I'm not going to be able to practice Spanish as frequently because I'm going back to the States. That's one thing I appreciate about Colombia is you're going to have to, like, you ain't gonna have no choice. You're gonna have to practice your Spanish. Because everywhere you go, everybody you talk to, 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, 95% of the time, people are only going to speak Spanish. So you're going to have to speak Spanish. So are you traveling to buy some Punani? NYC, the Fugas one. I don't know if I said your name right, but you must be new to the channel, man. You can answer your own question if you just go down the rabbit hole of my content. You know what I mean? And you'll know that you'll know the answer. You'll be able to answer that question yourself. Major Forever, what's up? How should a P conduct himself in the strip club? Man, that's a great question, man, because it's some people that I love, man. They conduct themselves very contrarily in that strip club, man. Whew, man, there's some guys that I love, man, like a brother. You know what I mean? People that I got a lot of love for, man. They go in that strip club, man, and they just you would never think that they was some game. by the things that they do, man. P is not going in the strip club talking with his money, first of all. You know, that's what tricks do, and that's the good thing about being a trick. If you don't let your mind speak for you, if you don't let your presence, your charm, whatever it is, your personality, if you don't let those things speak for you, your manhood, if you don't let those things speak for you, you let your money speak for you. And money is a pretty good effective communicator to most women that's working when you're trying to have your way, have your fun. Money's a good communicator. When you want a woman's attention, money's a pretty good communicator. But the ism though, we don't communicate like that. We don't let the money talk for us. Me, I don't let the money talk for me because the money cannot speak for me better than I can speak for myself. So yeah, we that's one thing for sure that we're not doing. And then on top of that, at the same time, it's kind of like a tightrope that you got to walk when you're in the strip club, because you don't want to. It's like you going in there as an undercover P in some cases. Every club is different. Some clubs you can kind of like let the cat out the bag and it ain't a big deal. But then other clubs, you kind of got to be a little stealth, because once they find out what's going on with you, they're going to kick you out. Or a broad is going to hate on you to have you kicked out, so you can't just let the cat out the bag with any and every broad, because some broads will go whisper to the manager like, yeah, he's a pimp, they pimps over there, whoop. They trying to recruit girls in here, and they'll get you kicked out. So you just gotta be aware of your surroundings, and yeah, don't let the money speak for you. Oh, so rapping ass, that's my cousin right there, man. That's my little cuzzo in Costa Rica Spectacular. You already know, man. Hey, and Cuzzo got some bars, man. Cuzzo got some good music, man. So y'all see Also rapping ass? That's my blood right there. My blood. He not a blood, but that's my blood. He's not a blood, but he's my blood, and I'm his blood. You dig? And good music, man. Go check out my cousin, man. Also rapping ass. He got some good music over there. Is the best teacher. You gotta try shit. For real, you can't be afraid to try shit. You can't be afraid to go through trial and error. That's 100 for sure. Don Supreme says 85% of these niggas be holders and in the cold right now, freeze. Hey, they pee up. They scared to pee up. Nah, it's not even that. You know what it is, man? And I've said this before, I'll say it again, right? See, it's a lot of veteran P's that's messed up right now. They barely holding on financially. And a lot of these veteran P's that's holding on barely financially right now, once upon a time was balling out of control. Just stupid balling. Strictly off the game, right? But what happened was, around 2015, 2016, the game took a drastic turn, and a lot of veterans wasn't ready for that turn that came about at that time. So because they wasn't ready, they couldn't adjust, and they couldn't maintain, they couldn't, stay afloat and thrive. So, and they still haven't been able to readjust since. So that's why you got some, it's crazy, man. You got some P's that's gamed up, super sharp, got a whole lot of it, but they just messed up right now. And they could be messed up right now for a number of reasons. Like I said, they wasn't ready to adjust with that curve, and then two, they might just be standing on their P to a point where they don't want to compromise themselves. They getting action from a lot of different bras, but it's just hard for them to accept the shit that these bras be coming with sometimes. because they just come from a different time and they used to a different thing, and I understand that, you know, but yeah, man. At the same time, it's a lot of dudes that don't mind compromising themselves this deep, having money, but that's scary too because, like I say all the time, when you stand for less, you fall for more. So when you don't stand for principles, when you don't stand for rules, you fall for a lot of bullshit. And you know, a lot of these dudes. See, this is the thing, right? A lot of these dudes, all it takes for a broad to get next to them is some money. That's it. If a broad got some money, she get next to a lot of these dudes with no problem. A lot of these dudes don't know what it's like to tell a 304, no, I don't want your money. You know, best of blessings to you, no hard feelings. You know, I wish you well. A lot of dudes don't even know what that shit feel like. They've never done that. They gonna take every dollar that come from everybody, and it don't matter how it come, who it come from, all that. You know what I mean? But that's dangerous though, because you might be accepting money from a setup artist. She might just be giving you some money just to get in good with you and figure out what you got going on, so she could send them boys over there to come, you know, relieve you of your goods. She might be a snitch, where she send them other boys over there to you to relieve you of your freedom. She might, you know, have an incurable disease, and you know she ain't telling nobody about it, and she just getting down and doing her thing and putting people at risk. You know, it's just all types of stuff that these guys will let next to them because they have some money, you know, and they not standing for the right things. So a lot of these dudes be deep, and they be, you know, flexing on social media and shit like that, and they make it look real good. But when you know how this game go for real, you know how scary it is for a lot of these dudes. And they don't even know how scary it is for themselves. But me, I know. It's a lot of shit I ain't accepting, I ain't gonna deal with. I love my freedom and I love my health. And yeah, I ain't put myself at the mercy of just any and everybody just because they got some money. No, I'm cool. Got to have some standards, man. But like I said, a lot of these dudes don't know how that feel, man. And it's supposed to be humbling to a broad. See, that's what would keep, like, for the chicks in the game who don't have any respect for themselves or P's or the game. They just don't have a concept of respect at all, and they just like in the game moving any old kind of way. You know, what a lot of these dudes don't understand is that if they respected themselves as men more, then these women in the game wouldn't have any choice but to respect themselves as women more and respect the game as a whole more. You know, but it's not enough guys that respect themselves that to a point where it prompts the women to respect themselves as well. Because just imagine that, like right now, it could be a broad that, you know, done told on 5 P's. She done got this P 20 years. She done got this man 30 years. She done got this man a life sentence. All this shit, right? She done told on all these different people. But if she got the right amount of money, a lot of these dudes is gonna let her get in with them. And she knows that, right? So if a broad knows that I could tell on these 5 guys, and the rest of these guys are still gonna want me, what is the incentive for her to be solid? What is gonna make her inclined to respect the game and respect the individuals in the game when she knows in her mind that she can just do foul shit and everybody is still gonna rock with her? Everybody's still gonna accept her and respect her, where's the incentive for her to be solid? As opposed to, okay, this broad, she done told on him and told on him and told on them, and now every gentleman that she turned to in the game and try to get with, they just giving her the cold shoulder because they know what she did, and she knows she ain't got no place in the game, and she gonna go square up and find something else to do, right? If more women in the game understood, like, damn, if I do this or if I do that, then I'm gonna pretty much be blackballed in the game. So let me stay solid because I don't want to be blackballed in the game. That would be the case if more guys respected themselves. But it's not enough guys respecting themselves. A lot of guys respect money more than they respect themselves. A lot of guys respect lean more than they respect themselves. A lot of guys respect powder and pills more than they respect themselves. A lot of guys respect Hardee's and Carl's Jr. and Jack in the Box and McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and Five Guys and all this bullshit more than they respect themselves. You know what I mean? So as long as dudes respecting all these outside things more than they respect themselves internally, it's gonna stay bad. I don't really look at the women in the game, the ones that, which is a lot of them. It's a lot of women in the game that, or females in the game, I'll say. Let me say that. Excuse me, women in the game. Females in the game. It's a lot of females in the game that are just like, they don't have any regard for integrity. They don't have any regard for dignity. They don't have any regard for anything good. You know what I mean? Like I said, you got chicks in the game who done snitched on 20 dudes and they still get down and don't feel no type of way about it. You got chicks that got incurable diseases and they still get down and put people at risk and they don't feel no type of way about it. You got chicks that, just all types of like not cool shit and they don't feel no type of way about it. But I can't really be mad at them when you have all these dudes that don't feel no type of way about it. That'll do the same thing. So free all the real solid ones. Major forever. You ain't never lied, for real, for real. What was the drastic change that messed P's up, Freeze? Well, it definitely messed P's up, but not only P's, just people in the world, period, right? Especially in America as we know it, right? So that drastic change. So for those of y'all old enough to remember, in like 2015 and 16, there was a drastic turn in the game, and that was the result of a bigger drastic turn on social media, right? It had a certain type of effect on everybody. And what happened was, I believe it was in 2016 that Instagram made it where you can go live. Because like the timeline of Instagram, right? For those of y'all, again, too young to remember, initially when Instagram first started, the only thing you could do was post pictures. You couldn't post videos, you couldn't go live. The only thing that you could do was post pictures and put a caption with the picture. You couldn't even make a post without a picture, like Facebook, right? There was no stories on Instagram. It was the only thing that you could do was post pictures. That's it. And This was in the early days of Instagram. Then in 2000, I believe it was 2013, Instagram made it where you could post videos. But the videos could only be, I think, like, at first they was like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, something like that. This is 2013, so now you can post pictures and you can post videos, right? Then again, like around 2016, Instagram made it where you could go live. And when the live feature came, it just changed everything, because this is when the interaction on social media just went to a new level, because now you could go live and talk to people in real time via video on Instagram, right? That changed everything, because it gave people who never had that kind of attention before more attention than they could handle, more attention than they knew what to do with. They didn't know how to act with this attention, right? So you have that. Then a little while later, I can't remember exactly when, but you know, Instagram made it where they had stories, and that kind of like put it knocked a little bit of steam out of TikTok, because they pretty much stole TikTok shit. I mean, not TikTok, Snapchat. They pretty much stole the story thing from Snapchat, because Snapchat came and that's all you could do on Snapchat was make stories at first, right? And then Instagram took that from Snapchat, so now you can go live and you can post videos and pictures on your story, right? And then a little while later, they made it where people can join each other's lives. So now you can have multiple people live with each other on social media, while you got all these people in the chat reacting to you being live, or multiple people being live together, right? So, you know, if you think about it, before that, right, like go back to when Instagram was only pictures. The only thing you could post on Instagram was pictures. That's not really very interactive. You post a picture, then you go on about your day, do whatever, right? There's no stories, there's no going live, there's no posting videos, it's just pictures, right? And then Facebook, initially, the only thing you could do on Facebook at first was just make a status. You couldn't post pictures, you couldn't post videos, you couldn't do none of that on Facebook. Only thing you could do is make a status. So when social media was like that, it's not very interactive, it's not very captivating. It's not something that's just gonna hold your attention, like how people scroll video after video after video after video after video now. That didn't exist back then. So it wasn't very, it didn't really keep your attention like that. So what changed was, like I said, around 2016, when you could go live on Instagram. So when that happened, you know, that's the birth of the attention whore on social media. When you could go live on Instagram, that's the birth of the attention whore. So, and then, you know, it just evolved into more and more things. Like I said, Snapchat came along, and then TikTok came along, and so now you have all these different, and then, you know, Facebook evolved the same way Instagram evolved. So now you got all these different platforms that just allow you to garner attention in ways that you never would. So it gives people a false sense of importance. It makes people feel important in ways that they are not really in real life. So, see, before 2016, before all of this shit on social media changed, you know, women were more level-headed. Their heads weren't so much in the clouds like they are now. So because women were more level-headed, you know, they were more responsible, they were more compassionate, they were more, you know, just all the good qualities. They just had more of that, you know, and guys too, right? Men were more, you know, standing on their shit, letting their nuts hang. Men were more like men. But when that shit changed and women's priorities changed on social media and all that type of stuff, now the pimping don't know how to deal with it. The pimping don't even want these bitches. These new monsters that came out after 2016, pimping don't even want to deal with that. Pimping don't know how to deal with that. Like, bitch, what you mean you gonna do this and you gonna do that? You gonna get down when you want to and you gonna come in when you want to? What you mean you finna be down with headphones on? What you mean you finna take your shoes off and walk on the track barefoot because your feet hurt? What you mean? Whoop? Like, it's just all these different monstrous characteristics came with that, with the attention whore. So, that's the drastic change that took place, that a lot of veterans that was balling prior to was not ready for it. You know what I mean? And then, see, it goes even deeper, right? Because, again, before social media was so interactive, a regular broad that's fine as hell but staying with her mama, she wasn't gonna get like the likelihood of like a Drake or an NBA player or a movie star getting in her DM, and she's not, she's just a regular person. Likelihood of that was low. But just think about that now, right? Like, a chick who's not famous, not rich, not educated, not anything. She might work a regular job at Target or something like that, whatever, a telemarketing job, whatever she got going on. She's just a normal person, right? Drive a normal car, live a normal lifestyle. She ain't super talented or anything like that. But she decent looking. A chick like that can get on social media. She can create an Instagram account, make a video of her shaking her ass or walking or just doing something sexual, and now she go viral. Now she got all these followers, she got all this attention, and then different celebrities is getting in her DM. That didn't exist before, but that exists now. So, like I said, all of that, it gives a lot of these people a sense of importance that it's not real. The things that they base their self-importance on is bullshit. It don't hold no real weight. You know what I mean? It's the attention whore. So that's really what changed the game, but not just for people in the game, for squares too. You know what I mean? This is why a guy can't take a chick on a first date. I'm talking about squares. A square guy can't meet a chick and on the first date take her to a Cheesecake Factory or Red Lobster or something like that. These used to be restaurants where it's like, okay, he must really like her. He took her to the Cheesecake Factory, or damn, he must really like her. He took her to Red Lobster. Now, because of all this attention horse shit going on, a bra gonna turn her nose up at you if you and then if you paying. Just picture that. You a hard working man. You get up, you go bust your ass for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You working, or you might be working overtime, but whatever the case, you busting your ass and you consistent. You responsible. You handling your business. You know what I mean? You might not be the richest man in the world, but you don't ask nobody for nothing. You'll tighten your belt before you beg somebody for something, and you handle your business. You take care of your responsibilities, and you're independent. You're a self-reliant man, and you take your time out and your money out to treat a woman. You gonna pay, and you offer to take her to Red Lobster, and she gonna turn her nose up at you. Like, that's crazy. Why? Because of social media. Because a lot of these chicks got a false sense of self-importance. They think they more important than what they actually are. They don't bring any value to anybody. Nobody benefits by knowing them, but they think they the Queen of England, and they too good for your Red Lobster dinner. You know what I mean? Right, 1990s Red Lobster. Like I said, and Red Lobster is still cool for like a first date. You know what I mean? If you meet a chick and you want to take her on a first date and you're treating, you know what I mean? What's the problem with that? But a lot of these chicks is gonna like look at you funny and probably tell you no thank you, and can't even afford to take they self to it. That's the cold part about it. You got chicks that will turn their nose up at a dude that's gonna take them on the first date to Red Lobster, but they can't even afford to take they self to Red Lobster. They can't even afford to take they self to the Cheesecake Factory. Like, you can't even treat yourself to that, and you gonna turn your nose up at this man that want to pay for your dinner at Cheesecake Factory or Red Lobster? That's crazy. Like, if you really just stop and think about everything that I just said within that. This chick, barely getting by, she cannot treat herself to, Cheesecake Factory, Red Lobster, Chili's, or any of that shit. She can't treat herself to none of that. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. She'll turn her nose up at a guy that want to treat her to that. But she can't treat herself to that. But she's too good for a man to treat her to that. That's, like, think about that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's like a homeless person talking about they hungry, and then you give them a certain meal and they like, nah, I'm cool, and they throw that shit on the ground. Whole time they on food stamps. Exactly. Take that bitch to Applebee's on the first. Right, Applebee's, Chili's, you know what I mean? And I remember that used to be cool. Like, when I was young, when I was like 18, 19, that used to be cool. Super bad women, like gorgeous women, they was just so much more down to earth back then. You could take a beautiful, gorgeous woman that's responsible, got shit going on. Man, when I was young, like that, like I said, 19, 20, man, 21, I used to take chicks that was educated, going to, Ivy League universities, man, and coming from good families and beautiful physically and just beautiful internally. And you'll take a chick like that to, like he said, Applebee's, or back then they had TGI Fridays, and, Elephant Bar. Like, Elephant Bar used to be considered fancy, even though Elephant Bar ain't around really no more. A lot of these chicks will turn their nose up at that. But you used to could take a chick to a spot like that, shit, In-N-Out. You used to could take a chick to In-N-Out and be cool. You know what I mean? Fat Burger. Shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, but like a real date though, like if you taking a chick on a real date, take a chick to Applebee's, TGI Fridays, Chili's, Red Lobster. If you want to be fancy, Red Lobster was being fancy. If you want to be just like baseline, cool, you take a chick to TGI Fridays, Chili's, Applebee's. But if you want to be fancy, you can take her to Red Lobster. You know what I mean? And these would be like the most beautiful chicks, you know what I mean? But just so cool. But now, they monsters. It's like they was all gremlins, and people gave, social media was the equivalent of giving the gremlins chicken after midnight. And they all just turned into monsters. Right, Sizzlers too. JJ North, I don't think we had that on the West Coast, but yeah. Sizzlers, yeah. We had Sizzlers, and Sizzlers was cool, you know what I mean? Like, and see, them type of connections lasted way longer. When you met a chick like that, and y'all just, you was able to bond and vibe a whole lot better off of shit like that. You know what I mean? Or, see, chicks used to be so cool back in the day, and it ain't just the chicks, it's just people was just so cool back in the day. You know what I mean? Even if you couldn't afford to take a chick to like a fancy restaurant or something like that, you can't even trust people like that no more because people so damn weird. But you could meet a chick and be like, you know what? I'll buy the groceries. you cook. We go to my house or we go to your house, whichever one you want to go to, feel more comfortable. I buy the groceries, you cook. You know what I mean? You used to do stuff like that, and it'd be so cool. It'd just be so cool, but it's like you can't even do that type of stuff no more. It's still possible, but it's like it's so hard to find women like that. I feel bad for you squares, man. That's trying to find a cool woman, man. You know, yeah, man, shit crazy. You know, I miss them days, like, you know, or we both could cook. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we could go half on the groceries or whatever. You know what I mean? And we both would cook. You cook this, you cook the macaroni. You know what I mean? I cook the ribs or the steak or whatever it is that we eating. You know what I mean? Can't even do shit like that. Olive Garden is another one. You know what I mean? Oh, JJ North's was in the Bay, Fairfield area. Okay, yeah, nah, I would never hit the JJ North's. But yeah, Olive Garden is another one. You know what I mean? See, that's how you know times have changed, man. Cause like, I forgot all about Olive Garden, but hey, back in the day, chicks used to love Olive Garden. I don't know what it was about Olive Garden, but chicks used to really like Olive Garden. These chicks nowadays, man, they'll look at you crazy if you talk about taking them on a date to Olive Garden. They gonna look at you stupid. But hey, a chick knew that you really liked her if you took her to Olive Garden. They used to really like Olive Garden, man. I don't know what it was. Man, Olive Garden was cool. What we got to do to change the trajectory, Freeze? Man, it's going to take for men to be men. You know what I mean? Because see, like, you can't expect women to just smarten up and change themselves and all that. Nah, it's going to take men to be men. That's how we're going to change the trajectory, man. Men going to have to start being men. Y'all laughing at that Olive Garden shit, man, but hey, chicks used to, man, see, anybody that's old enough to remember, man, if you was around them late 90s, early 2000s, man, chicks used to love Olive Garden. A chick would be glad if you took it. Shit, TGI Fridays. And you know that shit ain't like super expensive or fancy, but man, chicks used to like that type of stuff if you took them there. For real. Cali Boy Lifestyle, good looking with that. Oh, $10 holler. Once again, good looking. Thanks for the uncommon knowledge, P. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. They trade monsters now, for real, man. Cheesecake Factory, like Cheesecake Factory was really being fancy back in the day. That's why I'm tripping off of how like bras be like, you know, saying that ain't good enough. Cheesecake Factory was cool back in the day. If you took a broad to Cheesecake Factory, she really knew what was up. Like, she really knew that you was digging her. Since it's Italian, they thought it was fancy. That's funny. Sharif saying NYC BBQs was the spot to fill her out. Do y'all have Papados in Cali? Nah, we don't have Papados in Cali, but we got Papados in Arizona though. That's about as far west as Papados go is Arizona. Social media and the rap game got these chicks brain rot. Or got these females brain rot. Yeah, man. Yeah. But even the rap music is a result of social media. The rap music is being influenced by social media. So yeah, man, it's just gonna take for more men to start being men again. P out there schooling these fools. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. But damn, it don't even seem like I've been live for 3 hours, man. I gotta wrap this thing on up, man. I gotta make some phone calls and handle some business. But I still got like 7 more hours before my flight leaves. So I'm gonna wrap this live on up. But I might go live again one more time before I get up out this Costa Rica, man. Might have to overdose y'all because I left y'all in a drought for so long. The whole month of November, I didn't put nothing on YouTube. You dig? So, but yeah, I'm gonna probably end up going live again, maybe in a couple hours or something like that, before I leave. You ever been to Top Golf, P? Nah, I ain't never did the Top Golf thing. I need to though. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing on up. Let me put some more love in my body before I go. Have to give me some more of this in a minute. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. I appreciate you for all the comments, questions, jokes, input, feedback, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for sharing this video. I appreciate you for subscribing to this channel, hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate you for all the super chats, the cash apps, the PayPals. I appreciate your support in every which way that it comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freezes it. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. You dig? We out. Oh man. Mind y'all, man, I ain't had no sleep in about 48 hours, so you got to excuse my pimping, but I'll see y'all in a minute.